Ah, yes, a rant about how Call of Duty has never been and will never be the same as how it once was when it captured the magic in all of our hearts. What a very original and interesting idea that has never been done to death literally ever, and totally original to this video here. Yeah, I know it's been done to death, but I feel like with the success of Modern Warfare and everything that that game brought, good and bad, although the list of good is very short compared to the bad, we're now starting to see the effects of everything bad that came with that game, and it's starting to throw us all in for the burnout cycle. Now, I just want to preface this by saying we are all, at the end of the day, playing any video game. We are consuming electronic toys. So, any opinion that I share or that you share in the comments below, it is your opinion. You are completely entitled to that. However, there is no need to lash out when we are basically playing a match of electronic shoot 'em up simulator. Or like with action figures, you know? It's not worth it. It's just wasting breath, wasting air, wasting electricity, wasting battery in the phone that you're probably watching this on. So to each their own, but this is definitely not a call to action because, as of today, the news that Activision has been, or I guess the Call of Duty license, whatever you want to call it, Call of Duty has been purchased by Microsoft. So this could either be a great thing or a terrible thing, but it's too early to decipher what's going to happen now, so we just have to wait. But let's take a look at this objectively.
Objectively.
In the last 3 years, has there been a Call of Duty experience that has wowed everyone with everything the game had to offer? Yeah, no, I'm kind of drawing a blank. Each game has their own defining features, such as Modern Warfare being extremely content rich, but having just, seems like it was cattle fodder just for Warzone to release, and everything else was just pushed to the side with terrible weapon balance, terrible systems introduced with the skill-based matchmaking, mounting, slower movement, all that shabob. It just wasn't a game that was meant for us. The casual people have been playing this game for years now, and the hardcore YouTuber base, because it was almost just negative reception across the board from both parties. It was pretty much exclusively made for the newer player or the returning player that hadn't touched the franchise in 15 years at this point, or whenever MW2 came out.
Bruh.
Cold War had a bunch of the same problems, but it was all for different reasons. Same matchmaking systems, same pretty bad weapon balance.
The fucking sentry gun just fucking wall hacked me.
But it had a phenomenal zombies mode that brought in people of old and new, and we could all collectively decide, yes, this is a good game mode. This is what we wanted to play. That was honestly the whole reason I bought that game, because the multiplayer, that was not good. And the campaign, I could not remember. All I know is Perseus. That's it. That's the most memorable thing about the campaign. And Adler has a scar. And Park, because Park is Bay. And now we have Call of Duty Vanguard, a game that has all the problems, but they are all extremely toned down. Like, the matchmaking system seems to have been improved, even though it is the same. Maybe it's just that no one's actually playing the game, despite it being amazing compared to the other two in terms of multiplayer. But it's taking the approach of everything's OP, so nothing's OP. Now, granted, there's huge problems with that. The shotguns are terribly out of balance, and there's just weapons that are clearly better than the others. But it's fun to play at its core, and that's something that the other two games have struggled so much with as of late. Now, the campaign, I honestly completely forgot it existed up until, this video. And I, truth be told, haven't played it because I don't care enough, because the multiplayer is just too fun, or at times too aggravating. But it's memorable, and it's fun to play in the moment. That's all I could have asked for in a multiplayer game these past 2 years. Now, the zombies is just straight up terrible. It's made for no one. It's Outbreak, but without the scale. It's round-based, but without the round-based. There's nothing good to say about it other than it kind of looks pretty. And the graphical elements when you're stuck inside the objective area for Blitz are kind of cool.
This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life!
The problem with all three of these games, though, is that there was no whole experience that made you want to come back and play. It was either, for me, Cold War Zombies, Vanguard multiplayer, and Modern Warfare, because I like Damascus. I'm simple man. comparing that to like older games, I know it's not fair because it was simpler then and we devour content as a community now, but looking back on it, Black Ops 2 released with 3 fully fledged out and fully unique modes: campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. The multiplayer was some of the smoothest and most balanced. Yes, it was. Don't try and tell me that it was not superbly balanced compared to what we have now, because I will fight you. Oh yeah, I remember that whole opinions are their own thing. Hey, I'm allowed to make up the rules. Not delving too far into this because it'll take me longer to do that than to face my fears both physically and mentally. All of the zombies maps had an experience that was memorable and kept you coming back for more, whether it was to do the side Easter eggs, whether it was to do the main Easter egg or get the wonder weapon, complete all the upgrades, or do the super Easter egg for the Broken Earth maps, which got you, I think, 4-gun mule kick and a permanent fire sale for one, and the other, I think, literally just Edward Richtofen soul goes into a zombie and you get drops from that Richtofen zombie. Still better than RK5. And a campaign that actually had well, yes. And a campaign that actually had depth and mini challenges inside of it to unlock campaign-specific weapons like the PRS Storm or whatever that sniper is that you charge up and shoots through walls, and that crazy Death Machine variant that has more shots than I do alcohol tolerance when I look at the Warzone patch notes and see how much content it's getting rather than the 6v6 content that we all started to fall in love with the franchise for in the first place. Black Ops 2 objectively was a superb experience, whole experience. There was not one defining, it's only good for this moment. I mean, there was for the zombies. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And honestly, just the removal of so many of the customization features that made the game so successful in the first place, like paint shops and emblems and calling cards, most of which were pushed into microtransaction bundles and done very poorly in contrast to what people have been creating for years. I'm not looking, when it comes to games that I want to buy, I'm not looking for the newest hot thing. I know that's very hypocritical. I know it's very hypocritical of me to say that as you're seeing Vanguard and all these modern games in the background, but I'm looking for, in Black Ops 3, custom zombies for example, I'm looking for Nightmare, I'm looking for Rainy Death, I'm looking for something new that I know people are passionate about and they have the time to make something incredible. Like, gaming as a whole nowadays has changed. The market for something new solely relies on the indie market now. Just never will there be a AAA studio that does something unique anymore. You have to rely on the people on the underground, and there's nothing wrong with that. Competition is good. Because let's be honest, we all know the passion is gone. Like with the Pokemon games, it's gone. It's been done to death so many times, there's only so many times you can innovate before you run into a brick wall, and we have definitely hit that brick wall and rock bottom simultaneously. But the problem is, at least for Call of Duty, they set the bar so low that if you make one small change as an indie developer and you publish it as a multiplayer game, it'll instantly take off. But the thing is, it will not last because Call of Duty has a bigger market value. And honestly, I'm just waiting for the next indie game to come to the surface. Like, I'm trying to look outside of the FPS genre just because I've been burned so many times from this one name. And unfortunately, like the song goes, the thrill is gone.
Thrill is gone.
But we as a community are so burnt that we're trying desperately to find something that'll crave that itch. It's a blessing and a curse that we live in a day with such excessive social media use, because sometimes I think it builds to fall. Builds to fall? It builds games to fall, like Splitgate. Splitgate is honestly a great game. It's really fun. It's taking two concepts that have never been expanded upon and merging them into a fluid game. The problem is, because it's not trending on Twitch, game is dead. People play games solely just to watch them on YouTube as well. It's not about getting a memorable experience anymore. It's about getting an experience that will make you spend more time and money and energy than it will on other games. Because that's all that matters. We're numbers at this point in a sea of nameless number faces. Yeah, that was supposed to have a lot more emotional impact. But please, I really hope I'm not the only one. If you have by any chance made it this far in the video, first of all, I love you and I will have your first children. But also, comment down below. Comment your thoughts, frustrations, let everything out, and tell me what you're looking for in games nowadays. And if you're like me, where you're looking more towards the indie scene rather than the AAA scene. Alright, that's enough jibber jabber. I gotta go procrastinate on some videos. I will see you next time. Take care.